Hi, here is an interesting interview from MIT Sloan Management Review in regard to crowd-based capitalism. Culture in the shared economy is what I actually call it. Have you noticed how you don't really buy things the same way you used to? Instead of buying a car, you call an Uber. Instead of booking a traditional hotel, you crash in an Airbnb. And we keep hearing the term shared economy all the time. But if you look closer, it's not just about sharing. It's a massive fundamental shake-up of how capitalism actually works. Gerald C Kane from Boston College sat down with Arun Sundararajan, a professor at NYU Stern School of Business, to unpack this. And Professor Sundararajan is absolutely fascinated by what he calls crowd-based capitalism. Why? Because it's giving everyone access to experiences and goods they normally couldn't afford. Published in MIT Sloan 2016, this article, Crowd-Based Capitalism, Empowering Entrepreneurs in the Shared Economy, is worth taking a look at. And what exactly is the shared economy? It's not just a buzzword. It's a completely new economic system built on 5 main pillars. And what's this new hustle? It's rewriting the rules. Eventually, Arun Sundararajan says, it's all about how do you build a company culture when employees are 1 million people you've never met. Uber has over 10 million drivers in 2026, up from 1 million in 2016. Airbnb has over 5.5 million hosts now as we speak, up from 1 million plus in 2016. They aren't on the payroll, but they are on the face of the brand. Let's break all of this down. Thank you for watching. Now let's look at pillar number 1. It's market-based. We're talking about massive digital marketplaces that connect people directly. You need a ride, Uber connects you to a driver. You need a place to stay, Airbnb connects you to a host. What's pillar number 2? Getting the most out of what we have. Think about a car. Most cars sit parked 95% of the time. The sharing economy takes physical assets, human time, and even money, and eventually closes them to their full capacity. What is pillar number 3? The crowd versus the corporation. Historically, supply came from massive centralized companies. Now what's happening? The supply of assets and labor is coming from a decentralized crowd of regular people. And look at pillar number 4. The blurring of personal and professional, and that's what is happening. It used to be quite weird to let a stranger sleep in your spare bedroom, right? Or to pick a random person and drive them across town. Now, it's child's play. Hosting an Airbnb, driving for a lift, or lending money on a peer-to-peer network, these highly personal actions are now totally normal commercial activities. And finally, let's look at pillar number 5. The end of the traditional 9 to 5, the lines between being a full-time employee and a casual, gig-based worker are blurring fast. So you might be wondering and even asking, why now? If you think about it, eBay started doing peer-to-peer selling 2 decades ago. Why did it take so long for this to take over the rest of our lives? The answer is actually in your pocket right now. It's the consumerization, personalization of digital tech. For the first time, tech giants started building products for us first, not for big businesses. Suddenly, hundreds of millions of people are walking around with high-speed internet and GPS in their pockets. But the second piece of the puzzle is even more important: trust, authenticity, credibility. Think about the leap of faith here. On eBay, the stakes were pretty low. If things went wrong, You just got a broken toaster or a missing package. But look at the size and scale of some of these select companies in the shared economy. As of early 2026, Lyft and other players sized up and grew in volume, workforce, and number of users or customers. Let's look at Lyft. Because rideshare drivers typically use their own personal vehicles, Lyft doesn't report a separate metric for the number of cars on the road. Instead, they measure the human workforce and volume of rides. And what about drivers? Lyft has over 500,000 weekly active drivers on its platform. Look at their volume. In the first quarter of 2026 alone, Lyft reported 28.3 million active riders who completed nearly 237 million individual rides. Another example, DoorDash. It's a food and local delivery, as you know, dominates the US food delivery market and has expanded significantly into general local commerce and logistics. Workforce in this DoorDash platform relies on a massive fleet of 8 million active couriers, or what are called as dashers. This user base is serving over 42 million monthly active consumers. DoorDash volume processed a staggering 2.6 billion total orders globally over the past year. Instacart, which is a grocery delivery platform, essentially crowdsources personal shopping, connecting consumers with local grocery stores through independent contractors. Instacart has a workforce platform that operates with approximately 600,000 active shoppers. Since its founding, Instacart platform has processed over 900 million orders, moving roughly 20 billion individual grocery items. Turo, it's nothing but a peer-to-peer car-sharing system, often described as an Airbnb for cars. Turo allows people to rent out their personal vehicles to strangers. Turo has a workforce and assets with a platform that features 140,000 active hosts, sharing 340,000 active vehicles. Today, Turo has a user base that currently supports a community of 3.5 million active guests across 16,000 cities. TaskRabbit, as you know, is a freelance labor, is another interesting shared economy model. TaskRabbit connects users with local gig workers to help with everyday chores, from assembling IKEA furniture to moving help and home repairs. TaskRabbit workforce platform maintains a global network of over 50,000 freelance workers, also called taskers. TaskRabbit, as we speak, completes nearly 4 million tasks per year. Now we got some statistics. So what does all this mean today? The stakes are life and death. You're getting into a stranger's car, you're sleeping in a stranger's house. For that to work at scale, the trust infrastructure had to evolve. As we said earlier, trust, credibility, authenticity, and of course, eventually courage. Now, with all this peer-to-peer connection, you might think middlemen are dead, but not really so. Intermediaries are sticking around because they solve the big headaches, trust and logistics. Look at Google. Anyone can write a blog post, but Google organizes the chaos so you can actually find it. Look at Amazon. Anyone can sell a product, but Amazon guarantees it actually gets to your front door in 2 days. Even as wild new technologies like blockchain come into play, we're still going to need centralized platforms to play matchmaker and keep things running smoothly. So if you're a traditional business, should you be terrified? Well, you should definitely be paying attention, and if not terrified, at least you have something to talk about, think about. Digital disruption isn't just for newspapers or the music industry anymore. It's coming for travel, real estate, energy, healthcare. Imagine you run a car company. If a whole generation decides to use Lyft instead of buying a Honda or a Toyota, your business model is in serious trouble. And not just what you sell, it's how people expect to get it. We are living in the generation of Uber and Tinder. We expect instant gratification through an app. Look at Instacart. You tap your phone and a local person brings you groceries in an hour. Instacart doesn't own the grocery store, but they own the relationship with the customer. Amazon dominated long-distance retail. These platforms are eating up local retail. But the biggest shift to all of this is really what is happening to us, the workers. Airbnb is now booking more rooms a night than the largest hotel chain in the world. And their staff is barely 1 million plus, couple of million maybe, regularly renting out rooms on the site. We are moving towards an on-demand workforce and not just driving cars alone. Need a high-level business strategy? You will now find a company called Harley Nerd. Will find a freelance business management graduate. Need a sales team? Universal Avenue provides salesperson on demand. To survive in this new world, you can't just be an employee anymore. You have to think like a micro entrepreneur. You have to know how to manage clients, set pricing, market yourself, and be a journalist. But there is good news still. The big companies are fighting back. The auto industry isn't just sitting still. GM dropped $500 million into Lyft. They invested in Turo, which is basically Airbnb for cars. Ford is investing in peer-to-peer rentals. They realize they aren't just selling metal boxes anymore. They are selling transportation on demand. And if you thought managing this on-demand workforce was a wild shift, look at what happened since 2025 and the explosive 2026 and beyond. Agentic AI, for example. We aren't just using artificial intelligence to draft emails anymore. These are autonomous systems that reason, plan, and execute entire multi-step workflows on their own. This is completely rewriting how modern organizations and leadership function. Instead of traditional HR trying to track a fragmented global gig team, companies are now deploying agentic AI to act as the ultimate project manager, seamlessly integrating human talent with intelligent neural networks to optimize operations in real time. On the flip side, individual workers are evolving into AI-native founders. A single freelancer can now use digital agents to scale their solo hustle into a massive operation, directing a tireless digital workforce without even having to hire a traditional full-time employee. But perhaps the biggest leap we are seeing right now in 2026 is how the crowd is finally starting to cut out those massive corporate middlemen altogether, which we were not seeing 10 years back. We are moving beyond the familiar centralized platforms and entering the era of true decentralization powered by blockchain and smart contracts. Take the explosive growth of decentralized finance or DeFi, where platforms like RV are letting people lend and borrow billions of dollars peer-to-peer, completely bypassing traditional banking institutions. Or look at mobility startups like Volvero, which uses blockchain to let people share their vehicles with total transparency and baked-in trust, meaning no central giant of a technology in nature is sitting in the middle taking a massive 30% commission off the transaction. This evolution is crystal clear. We are moving from a shared economy owned by a few corporate giants to a highly intelligent, frictionless system that's actually governed and owned by the users themselves. And the final puzzle piece that's making all of this work is culture, which essentially is the point of this entire storytelling. How do you build a company culture when your employees are several millions you've never met? Uber has 5.5 million. Airbnb has millions and millions of hosts. They aren't on the payroll, but they are the face of the brand. So, what is Professor Sundararajan's advice? Do not leave your platform's culture up to chance. He quotes the CEO of Airbnb: treat culture as a strict design problem. If you don't actively build a culture for your on-demand workers, it'll evolve on its own and you might not like what it becomes. The shared economy isn't just a trend. It's a total rewiring of trust, work, and community, all bringing them together. We're all entrepreneurs now, whether we realize it or not. The only question left is, how will you and I adapt? Hope you enjoyed this storytelling video brought to you by Ganesh Sherman and River Forest Connections. Thank you for watching.